Hey, welcome back, guys. So today on this video, we are talking about EverWebinar, and more specifically, I'm going to quickly answer a question I keep getting a lot on my other video, and that is, how do you set up your first webinar in EverWebinar? So let's go ahead and talk about this. First off, guys, real quick video, not too many steps involved, so be sure to stick around to the end of the video. But why would you want to create a webinar in EverWebinar anyways? Well, that's pretty easy. If you're running an online business, especially if it's mid to high ticket, with EverWebinar, you can run a webinar constantly, and all it is a replay, but it feels like it's live. Whatever the case is, it's a pretty easy process. It's handled here in EverWebinar, and this is the dashboard. Check my video description. I'll try to leave the written instructions there as well. But I've already logged into my EverWebinar, and this is the home screen. Now here on the home screen, if you want to create your first webinar, here on the left side, you're going to click on webinars. Once you've done that, go ahead and click on this blue add webinar button. Okay, once you do that, you're going to see this screen. So basically EverWebinar is going to walk you through step by step. So the first thing you're going to need to do is choose a source of video. So you can go ahead and use a Vimeo or a YouTube video. Although if you have Webinar Jam, you can actually import a previous live session. For this video, I'm going to go ahead and just add one of my YouTube videos here. Okay, so I pulled up one of my YouTube videos. So one thing I want to know is it doesn't necessarily need to be your video. It could be anybody's video, as long as they have this little share link right here. Once you click on share, go ahead and copy the link. Now, one thing I would let you know you should consider if you're going to use someone else's video from YouTube or Vimeo, just be aware that at some point they might delete that video. So you're going to end up with a broken link. It's probably better if you use your own video. So I got my link. I'm going to come back over here to EverWebinar, and we're going to go ahead and paste it right in here. And then here, we're going to go ahead and fill out the duration of the video. Okay, so this video is 3 minutes, 8 seconds. So I'll fill this out. 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Okay, so now we have our source video. So I'm going to click on save. Next, we're going to go here to basic settings. All right, so we're going to go ahead and name this webinar. Let's say grow your YouTube. Okay, now you can go ahead and give it a title. I'm going to go ahead and just name it the same as the name of the webinar. Okay, here you can go ahead and write a description. Best tips to grow your channel in 180 days. All right. And we can go ahead and choose a language. All right. Once you set that up, go ahead and click on save. If you're going to add other moderators, you can do that. By default, it's going to be you as the moderator. And once you've done that, go ahead and click on next. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and set up the schedules. So click on this little pencil icon. Okay. So the cool thing about EverWebinar is you get to set up a lot of different settings on this. So for me, I'm going to go ahead and choose every Wednesday at, let's say 8 p.m. And then right here, we can go ahead and have it automatically set up for the viewer's time zone. Okay. And here you can go ahead and turn on replay. So if they've watched it, they can watch it again, and it's going to be kind of a replay for them. Late attendance. So if they show up late, they can go ahead and jump into the middle of the webinar. And the cool thing is webinar is going to fast forward to when they jumped into the webinar. So if they jump in 15 minutes after 8 o'clock their time, then EverWebinar is going to fast forward as if they missed 15 minutes of the webinar. And this one right here, just in time. So if they're registering for a webinar, we could also say, hey, by the way, there happens to be a webinar coming up. So we can go ahead and add that there. And then this one right here, hide nighttime schedule. So if they're cruising the web at 3 in the morning, they're not going to see the just in time, because as I say right here, nobody conducts a webinar at 2 a.m. So it might seem kind of strange, especially since they think this is going to be a live webinar. So I would leave this on. Here we can go ahead and block out days. So, like maybe Christmas, New Year's, those are already blocked out by default. Okay, so once you have all this set up, scroll to the top and then click on the blue save button and then click on next. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and set up the registration. As you can see, we're just moving right along the line. Okay, so if you want the registration page, if you want to design that, click here on edit, and then you can go ahead and choose from the custom default. I'm going to leave it on the default personally. Next, we're going to here, registration fields. So by default, it's going to ask for the first name and email. But if you want to gather more information, you can do that. But just note that that's going to change your conversion ratio. So I'm going to leave it on first name and email. Free registration right here, or paid registration. So if you require them to pay for the webinar, then you're going to click right here. And that way they're sent to a checkout before they can register for your webinar. I'm going to go ahead and leave mine at free. And if you want to receive notifications that there was a registrant, you can click right here and then send notification. That way you get an email notification when someone registers. I'm going to leave no notification. Here you can go ahead and add a password so they can enter into the webinar. I'm going to leave it no password, and then we're going to click on next. Okay, here we can go ahead and set up notification. So this one's really important right here, reminder notifications. Okay, here you can go ahead and set up the sign up confirmation message. You can add in pre-webinar reminders. Last minute notification is already set up. And then if you want to send out emails after the webinar, you can set those up here. I'm going to leave it here as default. Okay, now we're going to click on next. Okay, here you can go ahead and integrate your email responder. So like MailChimp or ConvertKit, all that's going to be right here. Now, if you're going to add any kind of tracking, that's going to be right here. So you can add in your Google Analytics, your Facebook ad tracking. So click right here and follow the directions. And then I'm going to click on next. Okay, here you can go ahead and edit the confirmation page right here. You can also edit the thank you page. You can set up a survey if you want. So I'm going to click on next. Okay, so here you can go ahead and set up the video function or the webinar function. So autoplay, you can turn this on. It's by default by disable. And that's because of the browser functions. You can turn it on autoplay, but what's going to happen is it's going to start playing muted. So then they're going to have to click unmute. I kind of like that. So I'm going to leave it enable autoplay muted and save. Countdown page. This is if they log in to get to your webinar early. So if they show up 15 minutes early, they're going to see this page. So you can go ahead and edit that. Chat box, by default, it is disabled. You can open that up. I'm going to leave the chat off for this webinar. And this one is pretty cool. Display number of attendees. So it's by default off. But if you want, you can go ahead and turn this on. But you can also go ahead and click here. And then you can add a fixed number of attendees into the webinar. And this one right here, you can go ahead and choose how many attendees. So let's just say 30, or if you want, you can do a dynamic. So basically it's going to be people coming and going out of the webinar. So you can go ahead and change that. So at any given point, it's going to be a different amount of attendees. It's going to fluctuate. This one for me seems a lot more real. So I'm going to click on save and then next. Okay, so next, this is for the replay. So this is for folks if they want to see the webinar once again. So it's enabled here. Replay controls, you can go ahead and turn those on if you want. So that way they can forward or go backwards in the webinar. They don't have to watch the entire thing all over again. Expiration, so the webinar, you can set an expiration. Let's just say here, and it expires, let's say 36 hours after they've watched it. And then if you want them to be able to submit questions, you're going to add those here. And we're going to click on next. Okay, next we get this green button. So my webinar has been successfully created. So we'll go to dashboard. Okay, so now it brings me here to my webinar dashboard. So I can go ahead and grab my webinar link. Okay, here is the registration page right here. And we're going to copy that. If you want to embed it into your website, you can click right here. But generally, you're going to use the registration page right here. So this way you can go ahead and add it into your Facebook groups. You can add it into your YouTube channel. And that way, when they go in, they're going to be able to register for your upcoming webinar that's always upcoming every Wednesday, 8 o'clock. So there you have it, guys. If you're wondering how to create your first webinar, EverWebinar, that's the easiest way I know how to do it. If you know an easier way, be sure to leave a comment below. Let the rest of us know how you did it. Hopefully you found that video useful. If so, click thumbs up or maybe consider subscribing to my channel, and I hope to see you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.